Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering November 21st through the 27th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning that whenever this video shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So, welcome. I do have to apologize. So when I was opening up space and preparing for this reading, I realized that last week I was channeling the energy of the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus and not Thanksgiving energy. So time for me has been, I don't know, it's been a weird space for me with time. So I realized that I was thinking that Thanksgiving was last week and it's this week. But it also made sense when I was thinking about the reading and the challenges that were coming up and just the energy in of itself with sheep and going to the light and connecting with Jesus energy. I realized it made sense and applied to the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus energy. So we're just starting this eclipse tunnel. I believe this eclipse energy is going to go on for a while. And so last week we were kind of getting a little dose of the energy, but it's really all good, friends. It's like moving energy. So I do feel lighter energies this week, and anything that I did say about Thanksgiving week you can apply this week, and I think it's just interesting how there are no mistakes, but yet it also can be like interference and confusion, and this is why it's just important to ground and stay connected and aligned. Right now my life has like a lot of things, a lot of moving parts that are really exciting and fun, and I just reflected, I'm like, wow, I really need to be in this world. So anyway, I wanted to share that if there was any confusion last week. So it's all perfect. It's all in divine order. It all makes sense, even if my human words don't match. So all that to say, if you're celebrating this week, the holiday, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you thanks for being part of my life with your energy. And I pray that you adopt a giving, receiving energy for this week. I feel like a lot lighter energy coming for this week, and so I'm going to work with the angel energy. I love these angel readings. Angels, as I've mentioned, were my first love. They are what brought me back to God and Jesus and my faith, and brought me back to the light. So I'm always grateful to share this energy with you. So that being said, I'm going to work with the Archangel Oracle cards to start, and then we'll get a message of healing from the Crystals Angels deck, and action steps from the Cherub Angel for Children cards, and then what you're being gifted with this week with the Oracle of the Angels, and then we will finish with a message from the Heart of the Father, an overall message with the Love and Light Oracle. So, all right, let me open up space here. What's that? Let me open up space. Inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Divine Mother and Father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, so let me connect my heart with the heart of the archangels in this oracle and ask, what angel, what's the most important angel do we need to hear, see, feel, and know this week? All right, November 21st to the 27th. Here we go. All right. Oh, Angel Gabriel, nurture. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So again, if last week was an intense week for you, so we did have a lot of stuff come up, especially around the family dynamic and change and growth. And so the Archangel Gabriel is reminding you to nurture your soul this week, self-soothing. Again, if there's a lot of pressure with responsibilities and taking action, I kind of want to reshare that, and how can we practice being mindful and present in our bodies as we're taking action this week, as if you're hosting a family dinner, if you are needing to run errands, things like that. Really, I really want you to be mindful of taking care of your body, so however you nurture your body and your immune system, whether it's through nourishing foods, that can be very nurturing for you. Water, lots of water this week could be very nourishing and nurturing for your body. Maybe you need some extra time to sleep and rest if you're anticipating a busy end of the week. Maybe it is some quality time with people in your life who enrich and nourish and empower your soul. It's like I'm noticing how important it is and how powerful it is to have people in my life that are uplifting and nourishing and believing and empowering, excited. And it's so wonderful to connect with different energies in my life where we're supporting each other and loving on each other, and really just, women heal women, friends. I've been on this 3-year journey of deep diving into my self-healing, and these connections that I've made along the way. I realized that feminine energy heals other feminine energies. So, maybe to be able to receive that maternal nurturing from yourself. Maybe this is a time to connect with that inner child and really self-soothe and nurture. It could be a time if you haven't seen your children. Maybe you have adult children and, they're coming to visit. Maybe this is a time to really nurture and nourish and really set the tone of the energy before gatherings, right? So again, there's multifaceted with nurturing. So Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication. He helps us to speak our truth. He works with sensitive souls who are inspired to write, who are inspired to create. So if you're a crafter, if you're a writer, if you're a public speaker, if you communicate for a living, how can you use, your gift of communication to soothe others, to nurture others, to nourish others? So that might be a different aspect of this message for some of you, right? How can you be a voice of reason? Excuse me, I'm just taking some water. How can you be a voice of comfort, compassion? Sometimes I get stuck in my head and I have a lot of things and I doubt myself, or, there's always this influence over, inspiration and, being able to pull back and go within. And really also seek counsel, seek support and seek guidance from others that are empowering and uplifting and encouraging. I can't speak to enough how important that is, and just paying attention to what it is that you need this week could be very nurturing. Letting the angels comfort you, right? Letting the angels surround you with that beautiful healing energy. There's carrying in from last week. This is a week for a lot of giving, right? So it's really important to continue with that receptive energy. So I'm hearing the sirens. I heard the sirens a little bit ago and I ignored them and now the sirens are coming back again. So any worries, fears, doubts, there it is. any worries, fears, doubts that might be coming up this week. The Archangel Michael also wants to be present. So another thing is that if you're anticipating, challenging family dynamics and gatherings, send the Archangel Michael and the Archangel Gabriel ahead. Archangel Raphael can also be included. That send them ahead. This could also too be if you are you're going to doctor's visits, or you're going back out into the world, or you're doing things that you haven't had to do in a while, and you've got some animosity or adversity to it, or you've got some anxiety to it. Send the angels ahead, especially Gabriel for the nurturing, Raphael for the healing, and Michael for to clear out any worries, fears, doubts, any tension, things like that. I know with, obligations and responsibilities, things like that can be a challenge. So again, multifaceted practice, receiving this week. If you're giving, checking in with how you're feeling, and nourishing the soul. Like, again, maybe it is a daily devotional that you can really sit with a little bit longer. Maybe it is an encouraging or uplifting YouTube video or a podcast, or maybe it's soothing music. Maybe it is getting in some extra water and really feeling the water nourish yourselves. Maybe it's being mindful of the food you're eating to nourish your soul. The exercise and movement too. I'm also feeling like taking care of yourself is a really great way to receive, but doing it in a way of because it's nourishing and empowering, and not because there's something wrong with you, or not because you feel like you need to do this to get this, right? And I'm going to ask Gabriel to guide you to all those things this week. A lot of times, for a lot of you, it's going to be rest. It's going to be putting your feet up. It's going to be going with the flow, because again, with the experience of the full moon lunar eclipse energy last week, and then coming into this week, as we, get ready to gather in many different ways. Remember, even if you're choosing to be with yourself, this week, and I've done that many times, and I absolutely love and savor those times that I was able to do that. Understand that as a sensitive being, as an earth angel, you're still feeling the energy of the planet, right? So even though you may not be going through experiences, the people around you may be. And so you might be called to action this week to use your gift of nurturing and nourishment and encouragement, and sometimes just listening to somebody and hearing what they have to say without feeling like you have to respond or problem solve can be incredibly cathartic. I am very gifted to have some beautiful people in my life who are phenomenal listeners, and they're really great with sharing their knowledge and wisdom and insight, and supporting, right, without influence, right? That's important. So let's see here. So Angel Gabriel, what message of healing do you have for the earth angels this week? What is the message of healing? So there's this one and this one I'm going to take. Tiger's Eye, and the message is, self-confidence through God confidence. Believe in yourself by believing in God working through you, right? This is, so we may not feel nurturing. We may not feel like we want to uplift, or maybe, we feel that, what do I have to offer? What do I know? Maybe you're in that space where, maybe you've communicated or shared or nurtured in the past, and it was maybe taken advantage of, or maybe it wasn't enough for someone. I feel like the angels are encouraging us. So if you think about self-confidence through God confidence, and then Gabriel, who's the communicator, believing in God working through you, is knowing that maybe you'll be called to support someone this week. Maybe you'll be called to take care of. Maybe you'll be called to take a leadership role. And maybe you'll wonder, am I doing the right thing? I'm getting resistance. I'm not really sure. And Gabriel is saying, if you call him in, invite that energy in, Gabriel's name means voice of God. Gabriel will help you with the right words, the right actions, to comfort and soothe others, to support them, and yourself as well. So I feel like the angels are lifting you up this week and saying, like, you have all that you need. And really, as we move through the end of this 5 universal year of change and transformation, we're really learning how to apply what we've learned. We're really learning how to step into our full power, right? As healers, empaths, intuitives, light workers on this planet, right? And we're realizing, or we're doing the healing work on ourselves, and we're realizing that healing work, and then it helps others heal, right? As you do the inner work, it radiates out. So I feel like the divine is saying that, maybe you don't have a formal or traditional form of education, or maybe, if somebody is needing help with their children, but yet you don't have children. So, understand that you are the voice and you're channeling that wisdom. And it doesn't necessarily mean, that you have to have these traditional paradigms to be able to support and be of guidance to others. Sometimes, I'm like, well, who am I to blah, 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 because I don't blah, 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 right? Whatever, fill in the blank, and so, I had a very wise woman tell me once, who are you not to, right? And it was very empowering. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's right. Like, I'm gifted with this experience for a reason. And so I'm going to listen and follow my heart, right? So I feel like the tiger's eye energy. So if you're into crystals, the tiger's eye energy can be very helpful this week, but you're really working on how to step into your full power and be an example of love and light, remembering that you're also human, right? Last week is a perfect example. As I was sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, that video has been out for a week and I'm not paying attention. And I'm like, you know what? It is exactly what it was supposed to be. It is exactly channeled the way I received it. And I've learned, right? And I'm learning. So this is what we have to understand, is that, we have to have confidence that the divine is working through us, speaking through us in ways of support. All right, let's see here. What's the other card? Ruby, which is bless your heart. Reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal and mend your heart. So if you're in the space this week where you could receive a healing, maybe, you've been giving a lot. How can you reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal in a way that's comforting and nurturing? A lot of times, when I'm needing support or counsel, I sit with, is this something I can work through on my own? Is this something my inner voice can assist me with? And then other times I will hear a name, and I'll get guidance to call somebody or reach out. And when I do, the beauty is that usually that person is available, or that person had just been thinking about me, and it's almost like the universal energies were preparing. And when I reach out and I say, hey, I would love to bounce this off of you. Do you have space? Do you have the energy? How are you feeling? I'll get back, yes, absolutely. And we'll kind of make a little bit of a time, and it always works out perfectly. And I always find when I listen to the wisdom and the call of the heart, that the advice and the guidance and the support that I get is something that I already knew on a deep level, but it just reinforces my own inner voice, my own inner wisdom and insight. So when it talks about needing emotional support, again, if you've had loved ones transition these last couple years and it's been hard, and now we're rolling into the energy, especially in the United States here, but all over the world, where we're rolling into the energy of gathering and family, and a lot of souls transition around this time. Friday, November 19th, was my biological grandmother's anniversary of her passing, and it has been like God, I believe it's like 33 years now, and it's still raw, and it's still sad, and it's still a blessing for me to connect with her in the ways that I do. It was really because of her that I do the work that I do now in mediumship, and I'm forever grateful for her transition and the challenges I had because of it, because it brought me to the place that I am in my life, right? But that doesn't mean that it doesn't bring up some emotional upheaval and what family looks like, and what my life looks like, and what my hopes and dreams were, and what is, and the acceptance. So understand that if you're feeling this energy, it could be the energy of the planet as a sensitive soul. So maybe getting some energy work this week. If possible, you can always just lay down and place your hands. It's really beautiful. All of us here, all of us earth angels, whether you've had official training in Reiki or some type of energy therapy or not, you have the healing hands. I know it. So, just laying down and putting, for me, a hand over, I put a hand over my heart and then a hand over my sacral chakra. So just doing that and laying there and breathing and using the breath to heal my body, and imagining that oxygen nourishing the cells in my body can be very, very, very therapeutic. So excuse me, it's not like you have to go and spend money, especially it's a short week for a lot of people. So that is another way that you can self-soothe, right? We've got this reach out for emotional support, nurture your own inner child, understand that you can be your own healer. You can support and nourish yourself because God is working through you, right? So we don't always have to go outside of ourselves, and that in of itself is liberating and free. So I love if you have the ruby energy, maybe your birthstone is ruby and you have a ruby sitting with that energy. So the heart energy is where we move through the emotional energy of heartache and betrayal. And we're now learning to access deeper levels of unconditional love through forgiveness, right? So there's a lot of family healing that I feel might be going on this planet this week. Excuse me. So again, practicing extra compassion and understanding, and just like a child who's getting frustrated with learning how to tie a shoe, right? The learning experience can be challenging, right? Or just like a child who's learning math, right? Addition, multiplication, division. There's a frustration that comes through learning, right? There's a frustration that I'm never going to get it, or I don't know what I'm doing and it's too hard, right? So again, if you're expanding and you're growing, it means you're learning. It means you're taking leaps of faith. You're exploring things that you haven't experienced before, and it just takes patience and compassion, right? So that's where the teacher energy comes in and says, I believe in you, and let's break it down and one step at a time. So you're now learning, earth angels, to work with all those parts within you, but then remembering you don't have to do it all on your own, that there's support. And that's, again, another reason why I feel inspired to do these videos, that, you can receive emotional support and love and connection, and really feel connected, even though you may be going through the soul journey. Soul is in singular, feeling on your own in the experience you're having. You're not. There's so many of us going through this transformation. There's so many of us evolving and healing, and there's so much change and transition that's happening. It's overwhelming. And again, I've mentioned it, multiple times on my other videos about how I'm in a state of massive change. Like my whole life looks different than, even just 4 months ago, 5 months ago. My life has completely changed. So, and it's exciting. It's wonderful, but just because we get that thing we've been wanting, or just because we have this experience that we've been working towards, doesn't mean that we won't have to put time and energy into other areas of our lives, right? So really the practice is learning how to be in your learning experience, in challenge and adversity and difficult, and really find excitement and liberation and passion through the adversities, the challenges, and the unknown and the unseen, right? And this is where we kind of muster up that energy, and it does come with patience and understanding and compassion. Just like a child's learning something new and they get really frustrated, we're also in that space, especially with Earth Angels right now. So what action steps, that being said, what action steps can you take to support your healing this week? Ooh. All right, so I usually pull 2 from this deck because they're tiny, but that one that popped out. Oh, and we'll get this one too. So, what action steps can you take to support your healing? Say a prayer. Sometimes I'll be like, good Lord, save my soul. Or, good Lord, come to me now. So whatever that prayer is for you, whatever that energy is, again, if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like your life has changed and you're really, still in a grief process, the whole world experienced loss in some way, or transformation or change in some way. And even though we're moving to better times, even though a lot of the things that transitioned out of our lives was a good thing, it doesn't mean that we're not going to miss what was, right? It's a part of you. And so if you're not sure on how to move forward, or you are feeling overwhelmed, or there's a lot going on this week, say a prayer, really just inviting the angels in, asking them for assistance and support. I'm teaching this little mini course for a group on spiritual support with the Archangels, and I have been starting the group with like 10 things that you can ask the angels. So again, saying a prayer could be like, if you're standing in line at a supermarket, ask the angels like which line you should go into. So I used to have this really bad habit, but a good habit of picking the wrong line. And so I would get into a line at a supermarket or a shopping center or a retail store in some way, and it was always like, it always took forever. Like there would always be a problem, and I would watch other lines moving faster, and then I might jump to another line, and then there was a problem with the person in front of me there. And so I noticed this is years ago, I noticed this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I must be out of flow if I keep picking these wrong lines. But what the universe was teaching me was like patience, right? Patience. So what I started doing is I asked the angels like to help the line move easily and effortlessly. And even if there was a hiccup or a bump in the line, people started complaining, I made it a point to be like a stability for the line. I made it a point to call in the angels and ask them to move the line along easily and effortlessly, or sending loving energy to the impatient people because I was that impatient person. So there's little prayers, and it can also be asking the angels for assistance with things that you're having a challenge with. If you're not feeling like you have enough time, ask the angels to stretch time for you so that you can get everything you need to done. If you're having a hard time sleeping, ask the angels if they can help you get a restful night's sleep, right? This is kind of like saying the prayer. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling confused, ask the angels who would be the best person to reach out to. You may not even have to. Somebody might call you up and check in on you. But there is that being open to receive however it's supposed to come to you, right? Ask the angels for assistance if you need extra cash flow this week, right? People are going to be spending more money in the next few months, and this is the energy that's on the planet. So, that we can kind of totally get caught up in the energy. So ask the angels for extra, ask the angel for the best deals, ask the angels for the sales, right? These are all just human material things that you can ask for. Asking the angels for parking spots, asking the angels for like if you're in a restaurant, asking the angels to move your wait time up, asking the angels for like the best waitress or the best experience. My boyfriend and I are having a really great time going out and eating and enjoying dinners, and it's been really fun. And so, we kind of set the intention that when we go out, we seem to have noticed recently that we seem to catch a spot or a reservation. We catch a spot or a table like right before it gets busy. So we're like together and we're like, oh yeah, let's go to eat. Where are we going to go? All right, let's go here. That feels really good. And then we get in the car and go, and then we get there and it's like, we'll get our table, and all of a sudden in like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, there's like a line out the door, or it's like really busy, and we just kind of laugh about being in flow. And then there are definitely other times where we got in front of or behind every slow car, every truck, every diversion, we kind of joke about like, oh man, we're out of alignment. So again, you can ask the angels to clear the way for you. You can ask the angels to manage your time or give you guidance on when the right time is to do something. It can be fun. So you can have fun with this experience. It doesn't have to be challenging. So the other action step you can take, spend time with pets. Oh my gosh. So this is what my brownie looked like. My little brownie boy, my sweet boy. He had that exact face. He had that exact white stripe. Every time this card comes up, it just reminds me of, oh, my sweet boy. So, and again, connecting with your animals, just love up. If you're blessed to have them still, just love up on them. You'll be surprised at how the animals find you. I miss taking care of my sweet boy, but yet he comes to me in so many different ways. And animals, like especially dogs, they will seek me out. They will come right up to me. They will bless me with their energy, and I just see those eyes of God in them. Like when they look at you, it's just, you can tell they've got the sweet eyes of God in them. So connect with your pets. This card came up with my subscription group, ladies, and I know it was my dog at the time coming in to say hello to them as well. But remember that comfort doesn't have to necessarily come from other humans or the divine. The angels are reminding us this week that beautiful, loving, unconditional energy can also come from our pets. Right? And if you don't have a pet, notice that those energies will come to you. I've been seeing bunnies, so I've been receiving bunny medicine lately, which has been really awesome. And it's been fun to look at their sweetness, right? All animals on this planet embody that unconditional love and that fierce protection, and it's nature, right? So that could be another way for you to feel aligned and connected. I love that came up this week. All right, so what are you being gifted with this week? Oracle of the Angels. What are you being gifted this week? Hold on, let me move these over. Being gifted with this week. Light. I love it. So I'm seeing the wings open here. Let me see. Yeah, the wings open here. I was trying to see what kind of bird that was. Thought it was an owl at one point. Hawk energy. It feels divine. Could be like a dove in some way with extended wings. Anyway, it's a bird in flight. And so you're being gifted with light this week. Light, sun, angels represent warmth and nourishment. So light can be very soothing and healing, which again goes along with the nurturing and receiving emotional support. It's card number 2, and 2 for me is a card of balance. It is a message, if we're in worries or fears, that everything's going to be okay. Like, let's bring things in balance. So if you're in fear, doubt, or worry, balancing it, bringing it forth to, okay, what is it that you desire? Maybe it's asking, for assistance and support and asking for what it is that you need. Light is very healing. The sun gives the planet the ability to grow, right? We always feel better after some vitamin D, right, outside in nature. And I'm just seeing light shining on you and you growing. So if you've been feeling like you haven't been growing, if you feel like you've been in a dark space, if you feel like you need that nourishment, how can you let the light in? Maybe it's physical, maybe it is fire. Maybe you can get outside to, a fire pit and receiving the light energy. You can also too, I talk about Steve Noble's guided meditation so often, and he does a lot of light activation energy work through his meditation. So that could be another way that you could receive light. But again, this is coming from if you're feeling depleted, right? If you're feeling I want to say not very nourished, how can you receive the light this week? Sometimes it is prayer, sometimes it is the Bible, sometimes it is scripture, sometimes that light can come through another human being, a hug, a connection with somebody, a smile. So maybe you're being gifted with light, but being able to notice how you're able to receive that light and how light comes to you this week. That would be really fun. Animals bring light, right? They bring light and love. And really, if you think about it, it like warms your heart. A lot of times, especially in the divine feminine, it can move you to emotions. There can be this release of energy. So again, if you're feeling like you're receiving the light and it brings up some emotions or it brings up some tears, just allow that to move. It feels like a lot of emotional energy is being stirred up this week, but it's so beautiful, it's so healing, it's so cathartic, right? So you're unpacking and you're shedding, and you remember the ability to feel, the ability to experience emotions, especially the way that earth angels do on deep levels, is a gift. You would be amazed, I'm sure, you see like how many people aren't in touch with that and don't have the ability to know and understand their feelings, right? Or to be able to tap into that. So remember, your depth of experience allows you to feel the opposites, right? So the deep sadness or the dark night of the soul that many earth angels have experienced give you the capacity to feel unconditional love and liberation and freedom in the spiritual at higher capacities, on deeper levels, right? So that you're in that place of wanting for nothing and having everything, right? Outside of the material world. There's so many of us that are evolving in that, and we're learning how to use this wisdom, this light energy, to transform the energy that's around us, right? Again, when you feel good, the people around you feel good. And if they don't, they go away. And then when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And so light really does come in and flow and can be radiated out. So it's an interpretation. It could be physical light. I do not like to be in a dark house. Like when I'm trying to do something, like I need a lot of light. I need to be able to see. So, I always am working with lights, like physical lights in some form or another, so that I can see. So working with that energy this week, you're being gifted with light, which is, for me, I feel like food. It's like vitamin D for your soul. Love it. All right, overall message from the Love and Light deck. Let's see. What is the most important message you need to hear, see, feel, and know? Creator, our Father, Divine Source. What overall message would you like to gift your Earth Angels this week? This week of Thanksgiving. It's just the energy, the words, however you're celebrating, however you interpret the energy is just fine. How can you support your Earth Angels in this energy of thanks and giving? Wow. Like that was like an exclamation point. Do you know if you have an iPhone, you know how, you can go in and you can send a message where it all like bubbles up like on the screen, or you can like do the invisible, or you can let it be light. So for me, this almost felt like the slam. If you're ever in that part of your iPhone when you're sending a message, I don't know if other phones do this, but in the iPhone, if you put an emoji and you hold down the send button, an option list pops up, and there's an option for slam. And I just feel like that's what it was, like slam. Or like an exclamation point in a way. It's kind of an imagery that I saw. So, all right, God, what do you want to tell us? Reflect God's compassion. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful this week. It says, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Yeah, I'm telling you, friends, we're transforming energies. We're transforming harshness and challenges, and we're moving through this energy and being the love on this planet, right, through your own healing work. So God, and I just feel like so many of you are already doing this. And sometimes we wonder, am I doing enough? Should I do more? How do I go out and give more? And I just feel like God is saying in this message, you're enough, right? Just being kind to one another, just being tender-hearted, right? Nurturing that part of you, seeking emotional support. Again, I just feel like, especially in the divine feminine, women heal women in so many ways, right? There's this beautiful energy. There's this, and even if you are a masculine watching, you have an inner feminine, right? That heals on this planet. Your tender-heartedness, your kindness, especially if you're a masculine watching this, in touch with your feminine. It's such a beautiful energy to be. It kind of reminds me of that Saint Francis energy. It's so powerful to be kind and loving and generous, especially if you're a masculine, right? And the feminine, activating, getting out of your own inner masculine and getting into that nurturing maternal energy will give you this ability to get into this tenderheartedness and even forgiving, right? Forgiving others for what they know, forgive them for they know not what they do, right? Just as God through Christ has forgiven you, right? God loves you, and he knows that we're going to move through hiccups and bumps and challenges, right? And we are always forgiving. It's a state of learning, friends, right? We're all learning, and we're going to have mistakes, and there's going to be appeared failures, but that's how we learn. It's a good thing. And then finally, we have, helping others is helping the self. This is such a beautiful giving and receiving energy this week. I love, the hands wide open with the angel looking over. And the message says, for the whole law can be summed up in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. So how can you set the tone this week to be a beacon of light on this planet, right? Again, there's a lot coming up with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus energy. We're now in this Taurus Scorpio dynamic, finances, things like that. The Taurus energy is very grounding and earthy, and the Scorpio energy is very mysterious, right? So, we're in the Scorpio energy right now in this 11/21 to 21 energy as this is being channeled. And then also too, like I said, the moon is in Taurus. That's the opposite, right? Which is very grounding. So Scorpio energy is very mysterious. It's very in the unseen. Like, what can you create from the unknown, right? It's being inspired by an idea and making it tangible, right? It's when people are inspired to write a book, and it comes from an idea, and then they make it tangible where it's printed and it can be sold, right? So there's so much of that energy that's coming up, and in a way of how we can help others, how we can nurture others, how we can love others, how we can soothe the other soul. And again, remember, it doesn't have to be what we're doing for them. It's how you're nurturing your own inner child, confidence in the wisdom that you're getting to share through God confidence, right? Working through the emotional energy through prayer and connecting with unconditional love, healing through the light is ultimately how we help others, right? And have compassion for. That doesn't mean don't honor your honor your boundaries. You can certainly love someone from a distance. You can send them love and still feel like they're not going to contribute to the quality of life that you're creating for yourself, right? And sometimes when we detach from these energies that are challenging, remember it goes both ways, but when you can move into your love, your light, your laughter, your joy, it gives the other people an opportunity to go into their own stuff and learn and evolve and grow. If we're always taking care of, or we're always giving and we're always providing, it just doesn't always give the other person the opportunity to learn how to do those things. So it becomes a never-ending cycle, right? So helping others is helping yourself, and helping yourself is also how we help others. I think it's powerful in a sense. Love your neighbor as yourself. And again, you can send that distantly. You can sit with, what am I learning from this experience? What do I need to know from this experience? Understanding that everybody's at a different stage. Everybody's at a different level. Everybody's having different experiences on this planet. And this is where the wisdom of the EarthAngel comes in. We can still send love and transcend this energy on the planet through our own healing. It's really beautiful. So I encourage you to hit pause, right? The cards are out, so hit pause and, check in with what cards resonate with you, what messages, you can take in the energy of these cards. Maybe you see certain pictures that come up for you. I encourage you to interpret this in the way that feels right. Take in what resonates and dump the rest, right? That might be one card or one sentence that's really struck you and that transforms, your experience this week. So trust that. All right, well, let me close space, thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for us this week. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done in mind, body, spirit, and emotions, and always. And so it is. All right, friends, if I can assist in any way, if I can support you through my services, I do offer coaching, and coaching is really just if you want to work on a specific area in your life, if you want to evolve and grow through something. My human design is a projector, and I have the gift of being able to see things from different perspectives. So that's kind of what my coaching work is. I just see things from different angles, and I just share that with you so that you can be empowered in the decisions you're making in your life. There's also mediumship. If you're struggling with the loss of a loved one, that work is available. It's powerful. I am also doing groups with families if you're local here in Southern New England. What else? Divine guidance. If you want to work through a problem or you've got a challenge that you want to hash out, I can be emotional support for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but of course I'll let you know what angels are working with you and how they can support you through the experience you're having. And then there's also life purpose, if that's something you want to dig into. And life purpose, remember, it's not about what your job is and how you make money. Life purpose is what your soul has come into this life to learn, which then eventually becomes your course of income on this planet. But it always doesn't have to be. So that's always a really fun experience to have as well. So, and then of course you can tune in. So if you're enjoying these readings, hit that like button, the subscribe button, leave me some emojis, some hearts and flowers. I haven't requested those in a while, but I love that, to see my comment sections filled with just hearts and flowers and sunbeams and all that good stuff. So either or, whatever you decide to do, I appreciate your energy here, and I thank you so much for watching. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust the divine. Trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.